And joining us now from Sfat is Rabbi Amichai Cohen from livekabbalah.com, here to talk about the 30 days since the tragedy in Meron. Hello, Rabbi Amichai. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Emily. Good morning.
Good morning. Listen, I know that you've had a very, very intense few months. We did an interview before Lag BaOmer, and then obviously we know what happened on Lag BaOmer. You were there. Talk about the experience of being there to witness something so tragic on such an important day of light.
Well, it was a surreal experience. There's no other way to put it, because on the one hand, one is expecting to be in an uplifting situation, an environment. It's in fact one of the most auspicious days of the year, Lag BaOmer, Kabbalistically, the day that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai passed on, and just the opposite happened. It turned from joy to the opposite, to tragedy. There's just no way of understanding it, of processing it, even now, but especially then.
Right, and in the 30 days, explain the importance of the 30 days since this tragedy. What is it that that it represents, and why?
Well, in Judaism, we have something which is called the Shiva, which are the 7 days of mourning, that one is supposed to just take in and accept, and their feelings and whatnot of mourning. And then there's 30 days that things get a little bit lighter. And after 30 days, we're supposed to go back to our lives, so to speak. And then it goes on, the period of mourning goes on for an entire year, 11 months technically. And then, life goes on. But the point of it is that we realize that everything is really good in its source, yet we as humans do not understand it. And we need the time to really be with our feelings. And that period of time is 7 days and then 30 days, etc.
Right. And for you, what has that process been like? Because here you are a rabbi, but you are a teacher. You have a whole, everything you do, you're in Sfat is Kabbalah. We know, those of us that have studied, what a big deal Lag BaOmer is. I mean, how do you process logically, obviously having faith and emunah, knowing that, God is in charge, but how do you mentally process that something like this could happen?
It's been really tough, just to be honest. A lot of feelings are still going through. It took me a while to go back to Meron, because I used to go there, basically once a week. It still is a very difficult experience to process. But we do know that, once again, everything that God does is good. And there's a bigger divine plan for everything. And we have to go beyond our mind and have this, to go to a deeper level of emunah, of faith, like you were mentioning. Really, God is constantly calling us. God is constantly waking us up and is asking us to go beyond our ways of thinking, oh, I would run the world that way, I would do things that way. But guess what? We're not God, and we don't understand why things happen in the way that we do. We could take lessons from it. We could try to improve ourselves. And that's definitely a major lesson that I took is let's work on how we're more similar than we're not. How could we shed more light than negativity? How could we unite? Because there are all these fractions of individuals that were there, 45 individuals that were completely different fractions. And for whatever reason, those holy people were chosen to be taken from this world in that place.
Right. Also explain that whole idea of tzaddikim, if to explain, as tragic as it is, for it to happen on that day. Would you conclude that really God has bigger plans for those individuals who lost their lives, their physical lives on that day?
Right. Great question. Actually, a similar question like that was asked of the Rebbe, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, regarding a loss that happened during a Torah procession that one was waiting for. They made a big meal, and one of the family members passed on that at that moment. And they asked the Rebbe, why did this happen? So he said that well, everyone has their time and place that they need to pass from this world.
How do you think that is connected to the ultimate incoming of the Mashiach in this age that Rabbi Shimon predicted during this time? Because logically, it doesn't seem like it.
Right. Well, definitely what was prophesized and was said in the Zohar that what is going to happen at right before Mashiach is that there's going to be extreme turbulence. And what we need to do is we need to really learn from that book of Zohar, the book of the inner aspect of Torah, to illuminate our lives, because otherwise, I mean, things do not make sense. I mean, and without a deepening of emunah, of faith, then we could go crazy, basically. Just the war that we had last week. I mean, if one does not deepen their faith and realize that God's got my back, and Israel's back, and we need to, operate on that level. It's very difficult to be, it's impossible to be in this world. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said that really at the end of days, this is when the book is going to be revealed through the book, through these teachings of Kabbalah and the teachings of Chassidus, with the advent of the Baal Shem Tov, of the Baal HaTanya, et cetera, and all the great tzaddikim. And really, that's what we need. We need to shed light. We need to illuminate instead of just, being involved in the darkness. So.
Wow. Very profound words. Rabbi Amichai, livekabbalah.com. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure. Blessings to everyone and wishing you a great day.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.